Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Swangard Stadium for the third weekend of League1 BC women's season as the TSS Rovers take on Harbourside FC, the expansion team this year. Both teams looking for their first win as well of the season this afternoon on a beautiful afternoon here from Burnaby. Let's go through the starting lineups. First for the visitors, Harbourside, who have 3 losses to their name, looking to right the ship this afternoon against this Rovers side. In goal for them, number 23, Emily Rowbottom, and numerically along the back line as well, number 4, Cara Dunlop, number 6, Ava Alexander, number 8, the captain, Mary Nichols. Number 9, Carly Ray. Number 14, Jillian Stewartson. Number 19, Jasmine Wilkinson. Number 21, Nicole Folietta. And number 24, Emma Skolick this afternoon. For the Rovers, they make 3 changes from last weekend's game against the Victoria Highlanders in a 1-1 draw here at Swangard Stadium. Shania Dintz, Isabella Mussolini, and Pak Tung Sang draw out. In come Maddie Ma, Aislinn Strychek, and Devin Cavanaugh. For the Rovers, in goal is number 1, May Hobenshield. She retains her place, her 3rd start of the season. Along the back line, Taylor Nekic, Jessica Fennell, and Amanda Scott. In the midfield, Sophia Ferremo, Aislinn Strychek returns to the lineup after a game away. Maddie Ma, Nikki Verk, Delana Friesen, and the goal scorer from last weekend, Maddie Elcombe, starts up top with, as mentioned, Devin Cavanaugh, her first appearance of the season, first start as well for TSS, wearing the number 9 jersey as well. And what is a big one here this afternoon, Michael? Obviously 5 points dropped so far for the Rovers at home after a loss to Notsamont and a draw against the Highlanders. This is a massive one here for the Rovers against a Harbourside team that is yet to win this expansion season.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough test for both these sides playing in the hot conditions out there. For TSS, they want to get their first win of the season under their belt. They've got that 1 point to show for it so far, which is 1 point more than Harbourside currently have. I mean, when you're going for your first win and you're still under strength, with all respect to Harbourside, this is the team you want to be playing right now. 15 goals shipped last weekend, this Harbourside team against Notsamont. TSS are going to be hoping they can add to that minus goal difference for Harbourside. The issue through the first 2 games really though for TSS is they've been creating the chances. They have not had anyone deadly or clinical enough to finish them off. Will that change this afternoon? They're starting to get some of their players that they're going to have for the rest of the season coming through now. We see some people on the bench today that haven't featured so far, but they want to get off this winning start to the season. What a day it would be to get it.
Fantastic afternoon. Kickoff temperature is about 28 degrees here in the Lower Mainland. Rovers moving left to right in the black and white, and Harbourside in those beautiful kits with the blue crest on the hips and as well on the shoulders, moving right to left. As a good one on tap this afternoon. We are underway here from Swangard. Your referee for today's match is Olin Metz. The assistant referees Hannah Browning and Kelsey Crothers. Your 4th official is Angela Pellerin. So we'll see what the pace of the game is like. Always starts out fast with the Rovers here at home, and then when the game kind of goes on, the heat can play a factor here as the Rovers on the ball. May Hobenshield early on here for TSS. Finding Amanda Scott, her 3rd start of the season for the Rovers, and Aislinn Strychek, the captain this afternoon, trying to switch the play out wide. A beautiful ball, and now Nikki Verk off to the races for TSS here the first minute. Verk on the outside, trying to get it into the 18 of Harbourside. Onto her left foot, trying to clip it back across. It goes off a Harbourside player. And a corner kick in the first 45 seconds for the Rovers here. A great start this afternoon for the home side, Michael.
It certainly is. If anyone is watching the stream as well, if you could let us know if it actually started for all our going through of the lineups, because for me it has only just started now. So I'm not sure if you caught all our preamble that we did before kickoff. So if someone could let us know in the YouTube live chat, that would be fantastic. But corner taken quickly here by TSS. Not the best hit in, but TSS keeping this one alive.
I'm sure your thousands of followers will let us know right away as Harbourside trying to win the ball in the near touchline. It was a good aggressive play by the number 24 Harbourside, Emma Skolick, to try and win that ball back. Uvik Vike in her prime at 4 years there. Playing as a left winger here for Bobby Taylor's Harbourside as we get our first look as well at this new expansion team announced last year. Winless on the season. As mentioned, just the 2 goals for their inaugural goal scorer, Shea Batty, is on the bench. The number 3 for Bobby Taylor's Harbourside FC. Ball clip through there for Nikki Verk. Might roll towards the end line. And Mary Nichols trying to make sure it's not a corner. She holds it in well, but it's right back to the Rovers in a very good position. Nikki Vert, top of the far 6-yard box, corner. Trying to work to the outside, drops it off for Strajcik. And now Harbourside will clear towards half, right to the foot of Jasmine Wilkinson, who lays it in a touch here for Cara Dunlop. Dunlop trying to work the outside on Sophia Ferremo. Make that Jasmine Wilkinson, the number 19, to the outside. Clips it back in. Knocked down well by Taylor Nekic, who's been incredible for Chelsea Henderson's TSS so far. What a move on the near side by Devin Kavanagh. She's lively. Wanting it through the middle was Elcombe. She'll get the ball on the outside, but the flag does go up. And you'd hope that ball be played quicker. Make that to Delana Friesen on the outside as she was calling for the ball came, but just making the run a bit too early there was Delana Friesen. 3 minutes gone here from Swangard.
Good pressure so far to start this one from TSS, and you feel this is what they need to do. They want to get this confidence boosting win. I mean, this is a team that shipped goals all over the place last weekend. I mean, Nosema already look like such a strong contender to win the title this season. But the thing is, Harbourside have got a couple of goals. They've got one more goal over the start to the season than TSS have. So there is goals in this team. And they did have a few good looks on goal, especially in that first game up at Thunderbird last weekend. And here they are again, but the flag up very quickly.
Wow. That was a dangerous position for Skolak to be in. She got goal side of Nekic there. Who
very easily as well.
Put a foot wrong there. She hadn't 2 weeks prior. She's been exceptional, as mentioned, for Chelsea Henderson's TSS. But what a position to be in there for Emma Skolak, the number 24. And she just about put her team in front. She had a player behind her that was Jasmine Wilkinson, but the ball was play was blown dead 4 offside as the Rovers have it on the deck now as Amanda Scott with a nice elusive move to the outside for Strajcik. Nice turn by the quick midfielder. Beautiful ball in the middle there. Watching her warm up, just so good at distributing the ball on the outside of the foot, the inside of the foot. She's such a dangerous player, Strajcik. And I think the Rovers missed her last weekend. What was the game? There was a lot of gaps for players to kind of penetrate the back line, as Mussolini did. Same with Verk, but I feel like Strajcik, if she was in the squad last week for TSS, might have been a difference maker against the Highlanders squad in a 1-1 draw.
Yeah, just needed someone to take control of that game last week in the midfield, and Strajcik, certainly the woman that can do that, as we've seen so many times. They definitely missed her presence. And they are missing, as I said at the start, which you may or may not have heard, depending on when we went live, but it's like they are still missing a number of top players. There is a hope that they might have them for next week, but definitely by Game 5, this will be a much different looking starting lineup for TSS Rovers. What they want to do in the meantime is keep in touch, get as many points on the board as they can. Top 4 in League 1 BC in both the men and the women's divisions. Make it into the post-season this year. For Chelsea Henderson, right now, that's all you've got to be targeting, is that top 4 place. Ideally, I would say 2nd or 3rd, so you are avoiding Nosema potentially in those semi-finals. That is a team you do not really want to be playing until the final, the way that they are in good goal-scoring form just now. TSS have to find some good goal-scoring form.
Well, they have 2 more games to play than last year, 14 compared to 12. They have that going for them, so still lots of games left. 11 after this as Strajcik attacks the top of the team. What a move, Aislinn Strajcik, a difference maker! Try to find the corner, and that's the quality she brings there. What a move to her left foot, her favorite left foot. Just struck that one wide.
Yeah, I mean, you say 11 after this, but the way that the schedule is loaded for TSS this year, they have so many home games in the early part just because Swangard is not available during July and August due to track renovations. Much needed, it has to be said, track renovations. But because of that, these are the games that you want them to be getting the points on the board at home, using the advantage of having this grass pitch that they're more used to. So every point dropped is a point that could be dangerous for them in the grand scheme of things.
Ball clip through, Skolak trying to meet it there for Harbourside. What a start that would be! Sliding his home and shield, ball is down, and grab by the keeper oh so bravely there. What a look for Nicole Foglietta attacking the left side for Harbourside. And a very interesting 5-set at the front, almost like a Christmas tree formation for Bobby Taylor here, proving to be dangerous for the visitors. 7 minutes gone from Swangard.
Yeah, they do look lively, and it looks like a team that is built today to try and hit on the counter with these tough conditions. And Hobenshield dangerously dancing around at the back there, but gets away with it.
Here's Kavanagh, had the great run earlier on in the half, and early on in this game, a few minutes ago, as Rovers will press. Friesen trying to slide it through for strike check and away there smoothly, and had to be pushed away by Dunlop, the left back. And a throw-in coming up here for Kavanaugh, quickly finding strike check. Sophia Faremo, Yofi Cascade, one of a couple in this starting 11 alongside Nekic and Fennell for TSS. Stefanik will make that. Alexander will try and clear, played along the goal there towards Elcombe into the box of the Harbourside, trying to play it back across goal, sliding there. Oh, that one just about rolled into the goal line there on a slip, and another one in the area. We had one moments ago in the TSS box. It almost went the other way for Harbourside.
I have no idea how that wasn't called as a back pass, though. It's like she clearly, fall or not, it's like that was played as a pass back. I can't seem to say
back
that
pass,
today.
Yep.
But a pass back to the keeper.
8th minute, and we've had some goal-scoring chances. Hopefully this play keeps up here despite the warm temperatures. It has been a very good start here this afternoon. Both teams obviously hungry, looking for their first wins. Rovers looking for their second goal in the campaign, a team that put in a lot of goals last year, as we talked about. Without Mussolini this afternoon and Shania Dinsa, it was exceptional to start the season so far. She left the game last week with a pretty unfortunate-looking injury. As this one clipped towards Wilkinson with a header, grabbed by Hobenshield. And another good look there for Harbourside as Hobenshield grabs it.
Yeah, when Dinsa went off last week, we did say it looked a bad one, and that might be the end of the season. We haven't had any confirmation how long she is going to be out, but she is certainly going to be out for quite a while.
We talk about that, and you have Katie Bishop maybe joining the team, and Kathleen Aitchison, Mussolini when she comes back, Molly Quarry, Kirsten Tynan as well. So many players that will be joining this team at some point. And it's unfortunate, I was going to say when you talked about that earlier, how early the season has started this year, which is good because you avoid some heat, but that means a lot of the college players, university players, won't be able to take part in the beginning parts of the season, which are so crucial, especially for TSS, given the home schedule that they have.
Yeah, the NCAA players in particular have a way different schedule to this, and some of the college players that's on the other side of the country. I mean, all the college players that's local can still do their studies, still do any exams that they still have to do, and play here. So that is something maybe that teams will, I guess, consider moving forward, as the season is rumoured to be starting even earlier next year.
Jessica Merck is well on the bench. She's a key member of this Rovers team, plays her trade at Regina Cougars in women's soccer. TSS born and bred as well.
Yeah, this is her first appearance in the game day squad so far this season, and they would certainly want to have her back. She got a goal last year, and you look at the players that did score for TSS last year, and so many of them are not returning players for one reason or another. But Kathleen Aitchison is on the roster and will be joining up with this team, joint leading scorer with Rhea Atwal and Claire Yee, with 4 goals each last season. And oh, what TSS could do with having somebody like Kathleen just now to be putting the ball into the net. Although today they've not really carved out any clear-cut opportunities yet. A lot of huffing and puffing around the box, but final balls into the box just haven't been there yet for them.
We also have Downing, and Verzosa Dolasol is a great defender for TSS. So numbers, about 5 or 6 that could come back, and that could be a half a lineup as well to make it a difference. Yeah. So that could be interesting to watch out for in the next few games for TSS, who hosts Unity in their last game of this home schedule for the first part of the season, 4 games as well. And then they'll go on the road for a couple of games and back at Swangard. But you feel like these 2 next games difficult in each stretch of the imagination, with Harbourside yet to win. Unity as well looking the part this year under Rob Giesbrecht after Graham Roxburgh steered the ship for them last year.
Well, I mean, TSS have 7 of their first 9 games at home. That's all 7 of their home games, and then they finish with a very tough 5-game road stretch. And when you're needing to pick up points to get into the playoffs, like trips to Unity, trips to Kamloops, 2 trips to the island, and a trip to Nossamot, it's a kind of a difficult one to see where the points might be coming from. So all these home games are crucial. And as I said at the start, with all respect to Harbourside, this is a game that you're looking to win against a team that must be coming into this a little low in confidence, I would say. I'm sure Bobby Taylor has got her team kind of picked up after 2 shellackings, it has to be said, last week. Nossamot really turned up the pressure, but Nossamot are a step ahead of all these other teams in League One.
What a ball from Jasmine Wilkinson over the top. Fennell recovering. Trying to move on that ball was Ava Alexander. A half volley towards goal. Might run to the left of Hobenshield, who smartly goes back into her goal. And collected here in the near touchline by Harbourside.
That was a fantastic through ball there, like right over the top. Allowed Alexander to run onto it. And this Harbourside team, they've got a lot of good talent out there. Ava Alexander, one of them, coming off a very strong season with UBC Thunderbirds.
Folietta throws it in. Alexander, her first touching the ball, and a dangerous one of that for Harbourside, trying to attack the far side of the 18, and cleared by Verk towards half, who's been very quiet so far for TSS. Nikki Verk, she's been one of the standout players to start this season for Chelsea Henderson's Rovers. Just a 1 goal, though, in 2 games. Maddie Elcombe, a fantastic volley last week in the 25th minute against the Highlanders. That was actually missed in the stream. Unfortunate. That definitely consideration for goal of the year so far. Free kick just inside the Rovers half here for Harbourside as Mary Nichols will stand over the ball. I recognize the name from the UBC Thunderbirds and the Highlanders as well last year. Not deciding to play with varsity or not Samant this year or last year, but to be a captain in her home island or the home area, and Victoria and Nanaimo as well for Nichols. I'm sure tantalizing for her.
Just looking around the crowd. It's still filling up nicely this afternoon here at Swangard Stadium. Someone has a horn. I'm just trying to work out who it is. I think it's a horn, or it could be that the Nanaimo fans have maybe brought their foghorn over from the ferry to differentiate it.
I think there's only one answer for that, and he's sitting down to our left here in the far corner. So
I was thinking that was who it was because I saw him coming in, and yes, it was Cedric. At least he has ditched the pot and pan. Hopefully he did take my less than subtle hints from our commentary last year about what I was going to do with that ladle.
He was at the Vancouver FC home opener, and he was making like a ship horn sound every time Cavalry had the ball, and it was highly irritating.
Much like this.
There was people complaining online about it, so hopefully he sees that. But throw-in coming up here for the Rovers.
Emma Scalick, the number 24 for Harbourside in that tussle there. She definitely seems to be one of the key players to watch for the Nanaimo side this year. 1 goal and 1 assist on the year so far for Scalick, the UVic Vike. That is the great thing really by having 2 island teams now. The players on the island that maybe live not in the Victoria area, they might play their football for UVic, but if they live in Nanaimo or in the north of the island, they've got a chance now to play for this Harbourside team. And it's a good mix of local talent, a lot of players as well from VIU Mariners on both the men and the women's side.
Friesen header forward. She's looked lively. Elcombe trying to get on the ball here.
They need to try and get Elcombe more involved. Like, she's having to drop back so much to try and make things happen herself. But the problem is then when she's doing that, she's got nobody then to play the ball to. The outlet's not been there.
Skalick at an offside call there. 16 ticks here gone.
Somewhat interestingly as well this afternoon, for some weird reason, the dugouts aren't here. I don't know if the team's asked for that, because it's maybe going to be like a goldfish bowl for them under the Perspex dugouts, but you would think you would want some covering sitting down there just now, the way that the sun is beating down. Maybe that's just my pasty Scottishness coming through. Slathered in sunscreen.
How many bottles today? 1, 2?
Just one.
Just one. Good.
Factor 5,000. Stay tuned for the men's game, where I'll be revealing certain tidbits as which player doesn't like other players using baby oil and all the fun facts that I learned from our Canadian Championship trip.
You had
over.
the intel, that's for sure.
Oh, got some great gossip. Just standing behind the players, eavesdropping, see what I could pick up and then throw into the commentary. A lovely through ball here.
For Remo, who is it box-to-box midfielder, but man, she gets forward really well.
Yeah, I paused there because I was like, is that for Remo? No, because she really got herself in an advanced position there. But that's more like it from TSS. That's what they need to do. And yeah, you might want to get a few goals this afternoon against this team, but you've got to get the first one. That's where it all starts. And just maybe a bit of a patience game. Once that first goal does go in, if it does go in for TSS, you feel it is going to then start to open up a lot more.
Hobenshield on the goal kick here. Just one corner so far to tell you about went the way of TSS. Otherwise, no infractions so far. Couple of shots not on target. Strydcheck plays it back for Scott. Good to see. The one thing that TSS have is continuity through the back line. Fennell, Scott, Nekic started all 3 games so far, and they have not looked at a place.
I mean, Nekic has been the standout for me on the defensive side of things for TSS so far this season.
And really, 3 goals against in 2 games is not bad, but you have to score.
Well, yeah, I mean, just 2 against Nossamat as well, which when you look at that and considering how understrength TSS was, I mean, that was a fantastic start to the season. Last week, the better side, it has to be said, against Highlanders, they did have the lead and then just could not push on in that second half after the equaliser for the Highlanders just before half-time. And I think that was the disappointing thing for Chelsea, was just that they had all that play, they had all that possession last week, and they just could not make it pay. And you are seeing the lack of quality really in the final third from them. And if they can get 1 or 2 really proven goal scorers into this lineup, if they can keep creating the way they're going to be creating, the goals are certainly going to come, the wins are certainly going to come, and the points are certainly going to come.
Ray Adwell was actually here last week supporting Shania Dinsa. I'm sure a childhood friend, but maybe she just wanted a summer off. There's a lot of players that just say, hey, maybe after a year of college soccer, I just want to have the summer to be with my family or be home and not have to play the game.
I mean, it is a grind, and especially for like Highlanders, Harbourside players as well, because, I mean, having made the trip over midweek with TSS for the Canadian Championship game, it's such a grueling day. Just getting the ferry, the early start, and getting back and forward, and it's like Highlanders have to do that 6 times over the course of the year. They've at least got their island derby, but I mean, that's very grueling, and for players to want to give up their summers to do that, you have to be really committed to wanting to play football. Some of them, of course, a lot of the players that we see in some of the League 1 sides are fringes maybe, or first, second years at college. So they're wanting to stand out, they're wanting to kind of put questions in the mind of their head coaches to try and make that breakthrough, get those regular starts. A lot of these players, for example, like Ava Alexander on Harbourside, featured a lot for UBC but didn't have many starts last year.
Strydcheck now in a good position for the Rovers, trying to slide her way through. And a very good step in there defensively by Harbourside's Carly Ray.
Now we have Alexander on the ball.
Beautiful ball whipped in for Wilkinson. Just bounces past Scott. And Hobenshield will collect it here for TSS on 20 minutes. But you have to like the response here. The visitors under the cosh, you have to say, for the first 5 minutes or so. But since then, they've been really good on the counterattack as well, holding some possession when the Rovers have conceded it as well.
You can see the quality as well of Jasmine Wilkinson. She looks so dangerous up there. A big threat for this Harbourside team. Native of Nanaimo, has played for Canada under 17 and under 20 level as well, and you see just that little bit of extra step that she has. And her and Scalick, I think, over the course of the season, if they can really get that understanding going, the goals will come for this Harbourside team. There's a lot of quality throughout it.
Certainly have the pace as well through Scalick and Alexander. Those are 3 players, Scalick, Alexander, and Wilkinson, that look the part this afternoon, and the number 17 as well for Harbourside.
Yeah, Erin Jensen, the UVic bike player that we've watched for a couple of years now. I mean, that front 4 for Harbourside is a very dangerous front 4. Defensively, though, they've been shipping goals, so it's like you have to tighten that up, because you can have all the great offensive players in the world, but if you're going down to heavy defeats, it is going to start to take a little bit of like sapping of the motivation for you. If you're a Harbourside fan watching this as well, tell us what you've made from this Harbourside's women's team over the start of this season. They've got 3 games under their belt. This is game 4 for them. You can let us know in the YouTube live chat, or if you want to get in touch on Twitter at AFTN Canada. We'll chat about anything you want during this match as well. We always love to have the listeners' interaction as well. Obviously, if you're watching this on demand, maybe not get in touch. It's a bit harder for us to talk about.
The one thing that Harbourside have going for them, all the teams last year, obviously expansion teams because it was the first year in the league. The Harbourside FC team this year, new team, new coaches, some new players, mostly a couple jumping ship, but teams don't know how they play, and that might go against them so far playing a team like Notsamot. But if you have teams like the Rovers, like Unity, like Rivers FC, who can make a difference and might not know how you play or set up, as Harbourside is, I didn't expect them to be this offensive in the first 23 minutes, for example. That definitely plays in your hands in the first 5 or 6 games of the season until teams watch the tape and go back and say, hey, this is what we need to do better. But
I mean, watching... I'll just break off here as TSS have a great attack going.
Fennell for Verk out wide, a left-footed ball. Thought about it, now to the right foot, cuts it across. Still the header towards goal, just wide to the right of Rowbottom, but a great movement along the left side.
Best chance created by themselves, at least, for TSS this afternoon. Obviously, that back pass was certainly the best chance that they've had so far to open the scoring, potentially. But, I mean, that was a nice little move there.
Well, it's a very slick 6-yard box. We talked about it last week.
Yeah, it's very worn as well.
I don't know if, I was going to say it might be new grass, but it definitely looks kind of worn down. It's discolored.
They've added a little bit of seeding to try and get some stuff to grow. This hot weather, though, and the lack of rain is just going to... I mean, I've got to say, I'll be brutally honest, this Swangard pitch is not what it used to be.
What a ball through Aaron Jensen behind for Harbourside. What a save by Hobenshield. Right-footed stop in the 24th. Keeps this one scoreless. Scarlett keep going. She'll have an effort. What a save by Hobenshield. What a movement by Harbourside there, Michael. Beautiful attempts ×2 for the visitors.
2 great attacks there in the 24th minute. Hobenshield sticking out the right leg there to deny Jensen. But they kept the pressure on, and Scarlett, you've got to say, I thought that was dipping over.
Yep.
Hobenshield did well to recover, tipped that over the crossbar in the end. I really thought that was going to be the opening goal for Harbourside, but that will give them a lot of confidence now. And can they build on it? Corner down here on the left-hand side.
First 2 shots on goal of the game for Harbourside as that ball is clipped in towards Wilkinson. Might still come followed wide by Stewartson. Great position for the number 14, Jillian Stewartson, to be in it for Harbourside. Just pushed her left-footed shot wide of the goal through 25, and what a lively game so far. Not a bad first 2 shots on goal as well. Sometimes you might just float one into the box with trying to find the target, but those were 2 fantastic strikes by Jensen and Skolek as well. And you thought Skolek might just clip over Hobenshield. She's not the tallest goalkeeper, but she pushed it over really well. Had nothing better to do there.
Yeah, I mean, Skolek has a lot of quality. We've watched her for years in Canada West with UVic Vikes.
Fennell lost it. Alexander trying to run forward. There is Nekic. And now Faremo. Clip back into the top of the 18 by Skolek, and that great left foot. What a attempt to clip the ball back into the 18 there. Up in the air was Friesen. Knocks it towards Elcombe. Ball drops down. Nichols in a foot race with Elcombe. Didn't deal with it fully. And now cleared away. Only to the byline, the middle of the pitch by Foglietta. Strike check, lovely ball. Here's Maddie Mana, her first start, her first real attempt to be on the ball for TSS, trying to make something happen. What a move from distance, keeps going, trying to find Elcombe, and now picked up by Strajcik after a poor touch by Stewartson to Harbourside. Maddie Mana out wide there for Nikki Verk, takes it off her knee, gets to the end line, trying to hold it in. Verk in a great position, cuts it back across, and it's still there, and pushed wide by Devin Kavanagh in her first appearance of this season in the 26th.
Kavanagh just couldn't get the curl on that she needed to try and send it into the far corner. Ended up playing it straight forward there to Elcombe, who didn't really know too much about it and couldn't turn and try and put that one away, but that is more like it for TSS. A lot of good success breaking up the left-hand side so far, and you're hoping that they can maybe use the width of this Swangard pitch. It is a large pitch out there. They're used to playing on this as well. They're used to playing on grass, and here we go again.
Faremo trying to work it towards the left side for Verk, who's in acres of space on that left side there. Nikki Verk, the quick winger, the UVic Vike as well. Played forward by Rowbottom, flicked on by Wilkinson. Now Nekic. Wilkinson, a nice touch off a turnover by TSS. Alexander in space for Harbourside, 1-on-1 against Fennell. the two Canada West players. Fennell, chance there for Jensen, a half volley, and another save by Hobenshield with a third shot on target in the last 3 minutes for Harbourside.
Was just shaking my head there as that ball came in because Jensen was left wide open on the edge of the box, and it's the danger of having this back three that there is going to be space left there. The midfielders need to track back way faster than they are. You can't give a player like Erin Jensen that much room on the edge of the box.
Well, to be fair, Harbourside have 4 attackers right now to the Rovers 3 at the back line. I know it's a numerical advantage, but they're getting themselves into better positions as well.
Yeah,
as you see the little pockets of space.
This is when you really are needing the midfielders to put in more box-to-box shifts. And I mean, might be some food for thought for Chelsea Hannison at half-time. She might want to switch this up and go to a flat back 4 because they're getting pulled quite a lot out there right now.
Maddie Ma's been very quiet for the Rovers. Excited to see her. Obviously runs the social media accounts for TSS and got to be a part of that great trip to Pacific on Wednesday, but just a bit quiet in her first start. She made a bench appearance in week 2 against the Highlanders. Elcombe, beautifully done for Friesen.
Yeah, a lot of talent, Maddie Ma. She had a commitment to St Mary's University in 2021, derailed by a concussion. She's now focusing on more the schooling side than the college soccer side, but has been playing locally and now has a chance to kind of show exactly what she can do for TSS. She's had one real big involvement so far, but I do agree with you. These are the kind of players TSS are needing to get more involved in the game.
A lot of quality for sure might come to Alexander, and a nice job by Verk to kind of just leave that one for Hobenshield.
Yeah, Hobenshield was a little slow getting to that. I've got to say, if you're going to leave it, you need to make sure your keeper is running at full pelt to get to that. That could have been very much picked off there by Ava Alexander.
Say full pelt?
Full pelt.
That's a new one.
Oh,
I usually say full tilt, but full pelt sounds better. Rolls off the tongue a little bit more.
I was joking with my wife about, what word will I throw in this week that Gideon won't know about. We came up with one I was going to put in and I can't remember what it was. I'll text her at half time.
Okay.
Didn't think full pelt was going to be the phrase that we went with.
Clearly uncultured.
I do throw in a lot of Scottishness.
Yeah. Friesen off of a foot of a Harbourside player. Throwing here for Devin Kavanagh, who it's a good thing you don't know some of these players because they can kind of make a difference. And Kavanagh, good idea, good shot a couple of minutes ago on the just wide of the target actually of Harbourside, but she's looked very good in the number 18 kit for the TSS Rovers.
Because Kavanagh was not a player we had on our roster, and we saw her on the team sheet, and it's like, oh.
Which is kind of what it was for Maddie Ma for me in the first game anyways, for TSS, kind of an unknown player, but she stood out off the bench in that game.
I think with all these players returning as well, this is such a key game for a number of them, just to show to Chelsea that they are deserving to be starters.
Alexander trying to keep it in. She will. Cuts it back across. Hit Fennell, then hit Alexander. And Verkel just played into touch there.
Been very impressed with the movement of this front 4 from Harbourside. To me right now, TSS might be controlling the possession a little bit, but I think Harbourside look the far more dangerous side. They look the most likely to open the scoring.
Stewartson.
Nice little dummy there, but there was no run getting made. Nice idea though from Skalick. Jensen not on the same wavelength to run onto that.
My unofficial scorekeeping here, 4 shots on goal so far to Harbourside, a 4-1 of TSS.
That sounds about right.
Yep. But I watched a bit of the Notsamont Harbourside game last week, and unfortunately for Harbourside, they couldn't get on the ball very much, and if they were able to against Notsamont, they are able to pick them apart because Notsamont was a little bit susceptible defensively there in week 1. It's a foot race between Jensen. Nekic takes a touch and had to deal with that one. Wow.
She had to put her foot in there. A great play by Nekic. Really looked like Jensen was going to be in there.
Scott for Friesen back to Elcombe.
Was that the second Harbourside game? The Sunday one?
The women's game, yes. Sorry, yes.
I watched as much as I could from the camera position of the first game at Thunderbird, and that first half, Harbourside really gave Notsamont a run for their money.
Oh, Friesen, dangerous ball. Nikki Verk puts it in, and the Rovers open the scoring on 32 minutes. Nikki Verk, her first of the year, and a fantastic shot from just outside the 6-yard box gives the Rovers the lead here 1-0, minute number 32.
I mean, that almost came a little bit from nothing in the end, but it was a great ball across goal to Nikki Verk at the back of the box. She tucks it away. Nothing the keeper could do to deal with that. And, I mean, Nikki Verk was excellent in that first game of the season. And what a cross that was in as well.
The smoke set off by the Swangardians to our right. 32 minutes gone, a big lead here for the Rovers. And none better finish than Nikki Verk, who's been deserved of it after the first couple of weeks of the season. Clinical from in close, beating the netminder Rowbottom from about 7 yards out. Another great channel played in the left side by the Rovers, and they are able to go ahead.
If you say netminder again, I'm going to punch you.
Sorry.
I'll just warn you now
Goalkeeper.
for that.
Is it the second time I've said that?
No, but at one of the previous games you did.
Oh, okay.
So it's your first warning for today.
Short fuse, as this one's going to bounce wide of Hope and Shield's goal to her right.
Just watching the action back in the YouTube stream there, and it was such a good passing move there from TSS. Harbourside is going to feel so hard done by because they just had really kind of taken control of this game.
Doesn't mean they're out of it, though. They have looked
most
very
certainly
good.
not.
But another goal for the Rovers before halftime would spell frustration for Bobby Taylor's side here. A moment of quality by the Rovers attack that we had preached about in the first 2.5 games here. And now their second goal this season, first for Verk.
And it was such good work from Delana Friesen out on the right-hand side as well. Picked Verk out perfectly for her first assist of the season. I'm trying my best to keep assists this year because it isn't a stat that's getting recorded by the League 1 website. Some of the streams are making it very difficult to actually work out who has played the balls in at various times, but we can certainly add that.
Well, at least you're trying to do it. I've kind of given up on trying to keep scores. If the Rovers go on the road, I won't know who scored probably, so I'll try and keep tabs of that. But
it's all in my handwritten notes that you love so much.
Yep.
I did toy with typing it up, but then I'm going to just have to be keeping adding to it, so it's just much easier this
and
week.
you waste paper when you print it off again in ink. So
Yeah, I'm trying to save the environment.
Foglietta, beautiful ball. Fendelman didn't deal with it well. Skolick was there looking for her second of the year, and again, Foglietta lively down the left-hand side, just about put it into a good area for the Harbourside tying goal there in the 35th.
Good reaction here from Harbourside. That's what Bobby Taylor's going to want to see. Don't want the heads to go down, which would be very easy to do, having had all that pressure and then falling behind. Still very much in this game, and we saw TSS giving up the lead late in the first half in stoppage time last week against the Highlanders. Lovely turn there from Wilkinson.
Wilkinson trying to play it through. Nekic stepped in well. And Olin Metz, no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Just waved to that one away and no foul given. Strike check now. Trying to play it wide for Delana Friesen. And thought she was fouled by Foglietta. No, referee says. Friesen as well last week came in to the side and did very well up front. Her and Elcombe kind of played a 4-4-2 formation and kind of switched to 4-3-3 it looks like. But wow, they've combined really well.
Yeah, I've liked what I've seen of her so far for TSS. Nikki Verk as well, we were really singing her praises in that first game against Nossamot. She gave that Nossamot backline a hell of a tough time out there. Was a little bit quieter last week, it has to be said, but back on her form.
Probably had some teammates on UVic that played for the Highlanders that were aware of her play style.
I was wondering about that as well. It's like, did they have a couple of little secret weapons? But it's interesting that it is a Victoria Highlander that has scored against another Island team here. Since it's the Island team coming along for the game today, I dug out an Island shirt to wear for the commentary today. It's the centenary kit of the Shetland Islands. They play in the Island games. It's various islands from around the world that play in that.
Say Shetland Islands?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, interesting.
Nice Viking sponsor on the front as well. We had Pirates on Wednesday. It's the Vikings today.
Ball clipped to Devin Kavanagh. A nice little 1-2. Beautifully combining there with Eastland strike check. 9 minutes to go till halftime. Rovers ahead. Might not deserve it, but that's how this game goes. It can be cruel at times.
I mean, I would say the way the game was going, that was against the run of play that TSS took.
What
the
a
lead.
ball from Strychek. Verk's got the pace for TSS and behind Nichols. Nikki Verk trying to get to the ball first, trying to cut it back. Nichols defending well. Verk a little step over to the end line. Nichols, really good defensive play, ushering that one out. She does concede a corner. Looks like no, it'll stay and play a deep throw-in.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, that was fantastic stuff there from Mary Nichols. She had to recover because Verk had the pace off her and then just recovered at the perfect time. And then after that, the defensive play from Nichols was par excellence.
That was about a 30-yard run from Verk to hustle that ball first. And what a ball put on a platter by Aislinn Strychek for Verk to run onto.
You can see the confidence that goal has given her as well. Been a good little spell here. A couple of weeks for Nikki Verk, because she recently won the BC Provincial Cup as well with Surrey United, team that our head coach Chelsea Hannison also plays on.
Strychek now who finds a nice pocket of space. Sophia Ferremo thought about a shot, freezing, trying to play it back on the outside of the foot for Ma, and now away come Harbourside on the counter-attack here. Skalik on the ball on this near touchline. Good recovery by Friesen. Found the boot, though, of Jensen. Tries to hook it forward for Wilkinson and away by Fennell towards Verk. We talked about continuity in the back line. Continuity as well in the front line in the last couple of games with Elcombe, Friesen, and Verk. The front three starting for Chelsea Hannison created some opportunities and deserved it for their effort last week to get more than a goal. They got one here, so...
Verk looks like she's going to be a really good addition to TSS this year. She has got experience in the league, played with Unity last year, got 2 goals on the year for the Langley-based side, made the switch to TSS, and has now got her account underway this afternoon here in the 32nd minute. That's the difference between these two teams right now.
I'm sure Uni would be asking for a transfer fee after Verk and what a start she's had of this season for the Rovers. Obviously not fees involved in player acquisitions, but you have to be keen in your scouting when watching your own team, and not just that, other teams as well, players for the next season.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've seen it around the league. There's been a lot of players that's moved on the men's side here at TSS as well. They liked what they saw from altitude defensively, and they brought Tyler Dillon in on the defensive side, and obviously Masood Habibullah up front as well.
40th minute of play here, and a free kick in a very delightful position for Bobby Taylor's Harbourside. A one at Person Wall. That's Verk for TSS. Harbourside all but 3 players forward in the box here. If Rovers can get the ball on a counterattack, be dangerous for the visitors, but big chance for Harbourside here to maybe tie the game. Diminutive Skalik standing over the ball on the left foot. Clips it towards the 6. Up there was Dunlop and flicked away well by Fennell.
Great header out there, but Harbourside still got a chance to put the pressure on. Well blocked there by Verk. Nearly came off for her.
Alexander now losing it. There's Friesen. We'll find Elcombe. Advantage played. Elcombe keeps going. Good pace. Maddie Elcombe trying to go all the way through. Drops down to her favorite left foot. Trying to run onto that one there was Kavanaugh. And all the way back for the Rovers, Scott.
You can see the lift as well that goal has given TSS.
A lot more confidence going forward as well. Friesen clips it back across, looking for a strike check. Follietta will just, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, scoops it out of play on the steer side. On 41 minutes.
Highly entertaining 41 minutes as well.
Hopefully
really enjoyed
keeps
this
up
one.
for the second half.
Yeah, I mean, you do wonder whether the heat will start to play into it and these players may tire. I'm tired just standing here in the booth just commentating on this.
Strike check now from distance on her left foot. Great positioning. Plays it there to Verk. Lively play from Mao. Looks to play it through. Oh, that was a dangerous whiff there, the left back, Follietta.
That was a swing and a miss there that seems to have taken a touch on the way through as well. I didn't see really where that touch came from, but I guess it may have been just on the swipe there. As TSS will get a corner here and a chance to add to their tally now.
Looks like
time ticks down.
Looks like me trying to get on the green from the fairway when I'm golfing. Just a big whiff there. No matter how many times I try. Harbourside, pretty much everybody in the box here defending this one.
Oh, yeah, they've got everyone back.
Elcombe on the corner. Quickly for Strychek, who's got that great left-footed delivery. Will find Kavanaugh, clipped in. Drops down for Maw. Still there for Matty Maw, trying to hustle to it. Gets it from Wilkinson. And now Verk struck a Harbourside player. And now Maw on the ball. Kavanaugh for Strychek. Good combination between those two again. Strychek from distance, all the way back here for Nekic. And now Ma.
Not a fan of short corners, but that ball that was floated in from Kavanaugh from it was lovely. And they kept the pressure on, but I much prefer just getting the ball into the box and getting it into the danger area and testing the keeper. And it's all come to nothing in the end for TSS. You do feel that's a little bit of a wasted opportunity.
43rd minute of play, 1-0 TSS goal in the 26th from Verk, I believe it was.
32nd.
32nd. I was checking my notes there. I didn't have that one written down, so thank you.
A couple of messages in the YouTube chat from Football Fundamental saying this game is on fire. It certainly is. Tristan Dunn, let's go Harbourside. And John O'Flynn, good friend, want to know if it is me, Michael McCall, on commentary. It is. Alongside Gideon Hill, we have TSS games all season long.
Except for the one game against Altitude, that'll be on the feature network. That's Rivers and Notsamot today from Kamloops.
Still hope we'll have every game all season long.
I see what you did there. Hoping some fans of the AFTN podcast can drop off some beverages for us here in the broadcast booth.
Oh, that just reminds me, I'll just dig out my kombucha. I've gone full Vancouver hipster now.
Yeah. You got a random soccer jersey and kombucha. I don't know what I've done with you here. And a backpack. So there you go. Checks off the bingo card. You don't drive a BMW, though, so...
No, I can't afford that. AFTN doesn't pay that well.
Nichols towards Hoban Shield, and Mary Nichols impressed me with her defensive performance this year, despite the game against Notsamot, the two games against Notsamot today so far. Anyways, she's nipped out a couple of good opportunities. She's a fringe player as well at UBC, hasn't played much in the last couple of seasons in a very deep Thunderbird squad.
Had a few sub-appearances, though, last year, and I think with a few of the seniors moving on now, I think we're probably going to see a bit more of Ava Alexander.
And Mary Nichols as well, yep.
Yeah.
45th minute of play.
The kombucha's turned into a disaster.
You're preaching about your kombucha, and now it's kombucha
it's
all over your notes.
All over the place.
Michael's going to have to take a trip to the napkin zone at halftime here.
It's still going. Kombuchas always say do not shake, but I like to give it a little shake just to mix it up a bit.
Yeah.
This is why you don't.
Yeah.
See, we give you life lessons here during
Yes.
the TSS commentary as well.
I learn a lot, so if you're learning about kombucha just now, you're welcome to stay on for more.
I think we can have a whole halftime discussion about it if you want.
Kavanaugh, good position, out wide for Verk, looking to get her second of the game here. Verk into the top of the 18. Nikki Verk! Oh, off the bar! What a strike from Verk on 45 minutes. A stroke at halftime. Just about pinged it into the back of the net.
I think the crossbar still rattling from that one. As the half-time whistle goes, highly entertaining first 45 minutes here, Gideon. End-to-end stuff. And a very even game so far.
Thank you for joining us so far in the stream. We'll be back for the second half here between the Rovers and Harbourside FC. 1-0 Rovers at the half. Nikki Verk in the 32nd minute, the difference. Welcome back to Swangard Stadium for the second half of action between the Rovers and Harbourside FC. A great end-to-end game in the first half between these two. The Rovers had in 32 minutes from Nikki Verk. Harbourside with a solid pushback here as well. All to play for the second half. Harbourside in the white and the blue, moving from left to right. And the Rovers in the all-black with the white jersey numbers and the white trim. Big second half coming up for TSS, looking their first win of the season. Same with the visitors as well. Doesn't look like any changes off the outset. We'll see if any are announced.
Just watching the fourth official, she is certainly putting some numbers on the board.
Looks like Saki Mashita into the game for Carly Ray for Harbourside, the visitors. Ray, I don't even think touched the ball in the first half, to be fair to her. As the Rovers try to go on the counterattack early on. Down the steer side, Jessica Fennell back for Taylor Nekic, and a foul, even though the advantage was on for Harbourside. Will the play dead?
This is set up to be a very entertaining second half. Really enjoyed that first half. This was two teams that wanted to attack. They've played some lovely football. Harbourside really are going to feel aggrieved that they're going in behind. They had some really good chances to open the scoring before Nikki Verk managed to get that opener for TSS. But I don't think TSS can rest on their laurels right now. This is definitely very much up for grabs for both sides. TSS, though, looking for their first win of the League 1 BC season. They've got a point to their name. Harbourside also looking for their first win and first point. I think if they can get anything from this game at this point, they would just be very happy to even take a draw, I think, at this stage of proceedings. Start their League 1 BC campaign off.
It is there for the taking, you have to say, for Harbourside of the way they played in the first half.
They've scored twice over the course of the season in that 2-1 opening defeat against Unity, and then opened the scoring against Nossamot in the 7-1 game last Saturday. Weren't able to get on the score sheet in the return game on the Sunday. 2 games in 2 days, very tiring and grueling for this team. It's Wilkinson now trying to dance her way through the TSS defence. Ava Alexander.
Good tackle by Ma. And Harbourside player
Alexander down in a heap there.
That was a thumping challenge by Ma, stamping her name on the game.
Yes, I mean, there's not much to Maddie Ma, but she certainly likes to put herself about.
Smiling after that one is Maddie.
We'll chat with her when she comes up for the men's game about that. Obviously, trying to put herself in my good books. I love a good crunching tackle.
Yes.
And no foul either, given up for it, so there we go. It's a dangerous play there from Hoban Shield that Ava Alexander couldn't pick up. Remember, if you want to get in touch with us during the game to talk about either of these two teams, the match itself, the League 1 BC season, any aspect of women's soccer, we're happy to have chats with you during the stream. Get in touch on the YouTube chat, or you can get in touch with me on AFTN Canada on Twitter.
Friesen chasing this ball down for the Rovers, trying to play it back into the path of Elcombe. Harbourside will collect and play it towards halfway. Skolic, beautiful turn on the ball, trying to get away from Amanda Scott. And Nekic back here for TSS, finding Hoban Shield.
Someone that did get in touch on the YouTube chat was John O'Flynn, wanting to know which jersey we prefer between the two teams this afternoon. Well, funnily enough, we were actually talking about that at half-time. As the action is continuing out there, Maddie Ma.
Feisty action, I will add.
Both teams have come out battling away here. This time it's Harbourside that get the advantage and the decision going in their favour. We'll get back to this strip discussion shortly.
I got a DM about it too from John, so thanks for that. Gave him my 10 cents. Free kick for Mary Nichols just in front of the Rovers bench here. Got a great delivery, try to play it towards the 18. Knocked down by Friesen. Now finding Aislinn Strajcik for TSS. Off to the races here, the home side. Ahead 1-0, trying to find a second here would put this game to bed for sure with the Rovers already on the attack again here to start the second half. 50 minutes gone. Verk to the outside with speed. Trying to play it back for Maddie Elcombe. And had to steer it on her right foot. Unfortunately, she's got a deadly left foot. But collected well by Rowbottom in the Harbourside goal.
Good move from TSS there, but some good defensive play there from Megan Linger. Really put the pressure on Elcombe. Wasn't going to allow her to get a clean shot off there. Yeah, going back to the kits, I mean, obviously I love this TSS black kit. I do prefer it to the red one, I've got to say. For Harbourside, I do like both the Harbourside jerseys. I prefer the blue one to the white one. I just think the blue one's a bit more striking. I do feel the sponsor takes away a little bit. Just the size of it kind of takes away from this white kit.
Jensen just about steered in the path there of Alexander to her right, who was in space. Thrown coming up here for Skylick, it looks like.
Harbourside certainly having the better running so far in the opening 5 minutes of this second half.
Ferremo knocked down. Here's Maddie Ma.
Harbourside really keeping the pressure on TSS. They haven't had a lot of opportunities to get the ball out of their own half so far after the restart, but they've got one here.
Ferremo off to the races again there, colliding aggressively with Cara Dunlop, the defender for Harbourside. And it'll be a free kick given away to the visitors here as they warm up some more subs. Look like Larissa Stefanik came in as well for the visitors at halftime, the number 5. Play that into the Rovers half flicked on there. Not happy with that one very much. Was Aaron Jensen. Now Jasmine Wilkinson. Great move. Wilkinson from distance trying to feed it through. Keeps going. Jasmine Wilkinson to the outside. Beautifully done here. Wilkinson still to the byline. Back towards goal, and it's in! What a setup by Wilkinson, and a beautiful equalizer by Emma Skollick, her second of the year. Equalizes on 52 minutes from Swangard.
You felt that one was coming as well, but that was all down to Jasmine Wilkinson. Tenacious play. She was not giving that one up. She was under a lot of pressure and a lot of attention there from TSS, but she managed to shake off everything there. Gets the ball in, and it's finished from close range there by Skallick. We've got a game in our hands now.
That was quite the run from Jasmine Wilkinson, who's mentioned it. Spent time with Canada's U17s and made sure that her head wouldn't drop there after that fantastic run. I thought she did too much and ran out of bounds, but she kept it in well. And the Rovers backline, I don't want to say gave up, Michael, but just kind of allowed Wilkinson to just keep attacking in the left channel. And Skollick on that left foot in a good position, floated in from the left wing area and got it in tight on Hobenshield. And the tying goal I mentioned, it was coming for Harbourside after that fantastic first half, fully deserved for the visitors.
The thing with that chance for Wilkinson as well, it's like she had no right to get that ball as it was going to the byline, but she just kept pushing there.
Good passage of play by TSS. Elcombe to the outside. Fed through by the Rovers. Looks like a sub there as well. Number 22. I think it's Maya Rogers coming to the game for the Rovers.
That's what I was just looking at as well, because it was actually Maya Rogers that was under pressure from Wilkinson, because I'm looking down and I'm like, I don't have our number 4 here. We did not get any indication from the fourth official as to what these subs were at the start of the second half, so we're kind of just scrambling on the fly here. We'll see who else we pick up as they feature during the second half.
Strychek trying to get herself in a good position off this throw. Will find the ball and find Maya Rogers, who wore the number 2 last year, a speedy winger for TSS. She'll go back to Nekic. Now Jessica Fennell clipping it forward for Verk. It finds the feet of Stefanik. And now Fennell. This touchline out of play by Ava Alexander has done a lot of running here for Harbourside, the number 6. Whereas the number 28 at UBC, but switching to number 6 is Wilkinson. Intercepts a beautiful pass and plays it ahead, and it's a chance for Aaron Jensen. Skollick in space to her left. Jensen goes herself, and well saved by Hobenshield on 55 minutes.
I mean, when you're through and goal like that, you are obviously going to go for the shot, but the better pass there was to send Skallick in, who was running in unchecked to the back of the box, and you feel that would have been 2-1 to Harbourside if Jensen had managed to get that ball across.
We talked about maybe the play dipping in quality here because of the heat, but it has turned up a notch here on the pitch here at Swangard in a 1-1 game. 32nd and 52nd minute goals here. Rovers in the 32nd opening the scoring for the second time this season. Beautiful ball played into the channel there to the outside. Here's Foleyetta trying to cut it across. Beautiful ball. Jensen had her down wide to the right of hoping she'll made a mess of that one. Did the striker Jensen there, trying to give her side the lead.
It's all Harbourside right now. They seem to have found a couple of extra gears after the halftime team talk. Whatever Bobby Taylor said to fire her side up has certainly worked. As TSS looking for some fresh ideas and some new answers, and they're going to make a substitution soon as well. Hayley Issel will be coming in for TSS. Let's see if she can add a bit of spark. And here goes Vert. Can she chase this one down?
Nichols.
Great recovery play again by Nichols. She's been fantastic, you've got to say, this afternoon for Harbourside. This could maybe be the spark to get Mary Nichols more minutes over the Canada West season. Hard team to break into, though, it has to be said.
Yes, very difficult.
Especially on the defensive side. Actually, in all aspects, I've got to say, for UBC, really.
Stewartson now for Harbourside back there. Trying to step in was Friesen. And now Ferremo knocks it forward for Friesen. Now it's a sub on the ball for Bobby Taylor's squad at Saki Machida, a VIU Mariner, one of a number on this Harbourside team. 16 who have played at VIU Mariners at one point or another, as a triple change coming up for the visitors here momentarily. And one as well for the Rovers.
I think Harbourside is going to feel that they've got the chance to win this one, and I would be in agreement if that is how they're thinking just now. They certainly look the more dangerous side, and TSS look a little bit out of ideas out there.
Mon on the ball, finding Nekic just away from Jensen. Verk now for the Rovers down this left side.
Because we're talking about the heat possibly being a factor the more this game goes on, and with the amount of pressure that this TSS defence is under, it's going to be putting a lot of exertions on them.
Nichols nicely on the deck for Machida, the sub, second half. Just out of the reach of Wilkinson. Now collected by Ma for TSS, finding Strychek, who's been nullified to begin the second half for Hanneson's Rovers. Nice move by Strychek. She's off to the races in this left side for TSS. Strychek, heavy ball in. Just a bit too hot to handle for Friesen out on the left side by Harbourside. It will be a corner for the Rovers, their second of the game by my unofficial count. To the right here of goalkeeper.
Substitution now getting made, and it's Maddie Ma that is making way for TSS.
And I think
Hayley Issel.
Okay.
Unless they've changed the roster numbers on us again, which I wouldn't be surprised. That seems to be.
I don't think it is Issel.
No.
Because I don't think she's on the bench today.
So someone has now taken her jersey.
Yes. I think it might be either Lauren Abel or Jessica Merck. Is that ball whipped in? And it's a 2-1 lead for the Rovers off a corner kick in the 59th minute.
That, again, much like the first, has come against the run of play here for TSS. But you take your chances when they come, and that's really been the first one of this second half. 59 minutes gone, and TSS are back in the lead here.
I don't know if that was a super sub Merck, but either way,
it was the number 15 that came on. If we're going that was Jessica Merck, I will go and try and get some clarification on that.
Sounds good. I'll steer the ship for the next couple minutes here as Michael does our due diligence for the research. Either way, it's a 2-1 Rovers lead against They're in a play. Second lead of the game for the Rovers. That goal coming 7 minutes after the equalizer for Harbourside from Emma Skollick and the assist from Wilkinson. Throw now for Strychik at TSS. Back for Fennell. Nekic now. And now Merck looking forward. Collected by Harbourside Stewartson.
So we've got confirmation on the goal scorer, and it was indeed Jessica Merck that got that. She was the number 23 shirted jersey. She's now taking the number 15 jersey. We'll see what she is next week when she plays, because you have to think she's going to be getting the start next week after that immediate impact. Talk about an impact sub, though.
Yes.
Now, for Chelsea Hanneson's side, they gave up the lead against the Highlanders. They gave up the lead already today. Can they hold on to this now? I mean, Chelsea has 2 dogs. She's used to holding on to a lead. Can her team now do that?
Harbourside trying to avoid a rough passage of play here as Ferremo through. Onto the outside. Rogers clips it back across. And what are the games so far this year? We've seen probably the best that we've done here at Swangard easily for the men and women's side, but out of the other games in the women's side of action, this has been one of the best games here this season. League 1 BC already through the third weekend of action here as that one struck strike, checking out for a throw in here. Quality here this afternoon between these two. The first ever meeting, by the way. Fennell forward. Knocked down by Jade Dillabo, the sub. Now Stewartson. Scott now. Nice turn from Elcombe. She's trying to stamp her name back in this game, but collected by Harbourside. A good position. Here's Wilkinson in some space.
I think we're going to get an end-to-end affair now. I mean, it was already that in the first half. Harbourside much the better team in the second, and here they go again.
Great ball clipped through. Here is Shea Batty, another sub. Getting to the end line, keep going. Did Shea Batty cleared away by Nekic.
Batty making history for this Harbourside team, getting the first goal for the women's side in the club's history in that game against Unity in the season opener in front of a massive crowd of over 1,200 in Nanaimo.
Elcombe now for TSS inside our own half. Some
messages coming in on the chat and on Twitter. Peter Lahey says that Amanda Scott, the number 11 for TSS, looks a fully composed centre-back.
Yes.
She's certainly been very good out there. She's had a really strong season.
You could put Nekic in the same conversation as well.
Amanda Scott is one of the older players on this TSS side, an alumni from the TSS Academy, and also played when TSS Rovers were in the WPSL.
That was a heck of a squad as well in the WPSL.
Yeah,
I mean, Jordan Heidemann one time, Julia Grosso the same season. It's a shame we didn't get to see them as much as we did that year. It was obviously a little bit broken up because of who they were playing.
And it was just...
Remember they had a friendly against, I believe, the Whitecaps Academy, and actually Heidemann Grosso played for the Whitecaps in that game against the Rovers.
Oh, yes, that is right. But, I mean, Amanda Scott does bring experience to what is a very young TSS side, and that's what you need, and that's what this league is all about. And the teams that have done well last year, the teams that's got that little bit of a mix in, and they've got some of the older ones. She's an SFU alumni as well, played 3
this ball
seasons.
might find Friesen all the way through. Rope bottom there, just avoiding Friesen as this game is turned up again here on 64 minutes. What a match it's been, Michael.
Friesen turning up the temperature for TSS again in this heat.
Here is Fennell. Verk, who has seemingly dropped an attacking mid position instead of a left wing role, where she plied her trade in the first half, scoring the first goal, her first of this season for Hanneson's Rovers. Now Ferremo. Got it back from Scott. Maya Rogers. Or Ferremo, that surely was offside. It's not. Clipped in by Ferremo, and now the flag does go up. A delayed one there by the linesman to the far side. Goal kick here for keeper Rowbottom.
And we've got more numbers changes from our roster because We have some players coming on that are definitely not on the roster that I have here.
So I think 10 is Isabella Picciani. I'm confident in that one because she's worn the number 10 before.
Yeah, she's meant to be the number 7.
Checking out for TSS. Looks like number 13, Maddie Elcombe, a good shift, and in comes number 6. And out comes Strychik.
We've narrowed it down to 2, I think, for the number 6. It's either Ebel or Fonderson. I don't think
Founderson's 12, so it's got to be Friesen. Or sorry, that's got to be Ebel. Yep. For people who think that we don't know our squad, we do. But as we've talked about, this whole numbers thing is...
Chelsea's switching the numbers upon us. We'll speak to her after the game.
Tell them not to come out so early as well. Another thing as well.
Yeah, I will also be telling them that as well, yeah.
Oh, man.
But I think we should be good from now on.
Picciani, beautiful move. Good change of pace. Made a sub-appearance in each of the first 2 games as she'll replace the equally as dangerous Aislinn Strychik with the Rovers ahead 2-1. What a lovely ball from Rogers. Now attacking is Lauren Abel. Thought about clipping it back across on her left foot. Watched closely by Shea Batty. Now Rogers, top of the 18. Batty doing well to defend. And just holding on the far side was Abel. So the one thing you do when you make all these changes to begin a half, if somebody goes down later on due to the heat, you're kind of strapped for what you can do substitution-wise.
Yeah, Chelsea's put all her eggs in one big basket right now out there.
Fremo keeps the play going, clips it in towards Picciani. Good read by Nichols. One of the players of the games besides Wilkinson for Harbourside, you have to say. Skalik now with 23 minutes to go. Can she get her side back in this game again? Reminder, the Rovers game, the men's side coming up in an hour time. Here, 4 o'clock kickoff at Swangard as they take on this same Harbourside men's team. Their first ever meeting as that ball bounce. Chance here to equalize again for Harbourside, and they do! All the way through, it was Skalik again, and it's a 2-2 game in minute number 67.
Another fantastic goal there from Harbourside. The through ball, perfection there for Skalik. Did everything else that she needed to do, slotted it past Hobenshield, and we're back tied at 2 apiece here. Midway through the second half as well in the 67th minute. Absolutely fantastic stuff by Harbourside yet again, moving the ball so well out there.
All the goals that we didn't have the first 2 weekends, we have today in a 2-2 game. Harbourside equaling their most goal output so far. This is their 4th game of the young season.
Because we're on a goal bonus as well, aren't we?
Yes.
I'll have to work that out.
Yes. Paid by Chocolate Digestives, of course. But a game and a half here from Emma Skalik, a daily double. She's got 3 in the season.
Second of the game scored in the 67th minute by number 24, Emma Skalik.
Got a message in from Mary Nichols saying that just to let us know that Mary Nichols didn't play due to an injury sustained in pre-season, both seasons so far.
Trying to make her way through rather was Skalik. Here's Verk. On hit the arm there, Rogers, and Ola Metz, the referee right there to blow the play dead.
Do either of these teams have what it takes now to go on and win this one? Harbourside started this half in the ascendancy and then were shocked by that TSS goal, but they've got themselves back in level terms, and it's them again that's making all the running here, and they've got a free kick from a dangerous position, a chance to test this TSS defence now. So free kick comes deep into the box.
Flicked on by Skalik, who looking for the hat trick there, and it was well put wide by Skalik, despite a great effort to put herself in that position.
TSS needing to regroup back there. You've got to give a big plaudits, though, to this Harbourside side.
Yes.
After those 2 games last week against Nosema, you'd be forgiven if they came into this just questioning the talent that they've got. I mean, Bobby Taylor knows how good her side is, but they really did give a good showing against Unity in that season opener. Nosema are kind of outliers, I think, in League 1 BC this season. Jesse Simons, the player collector, with his stacked roster, they are going to be giving a few teams some heavy defeats out there. But Harbourside's bounced back so well this afternoon. When Wilkinson goes down, Holden, her leg, she landed awkwardly after winning that header there. Looks in a lot of discomfort. It's the through ball there, runs just a little bit beyond Shea Batty.
We already look at the standings so far. Notsamot ahead. 3 wins, 3 games played, 17 goals for, 1 goal against. Whitecaps second, who look equally as dangerous after a win last night against Altitude at Kenwoods Field in another Friday night game there. Unity third on 2 wins from 2 games played. Altitude fourth right now. Highlanders 5th, Rovers 6th, Rivers 7th, and Harbourside 8th is how things shape up 3 weekends into the season.
Whitecaps looked very good last night against Altitude. Altitude taking the lead in both matches on the men's and the women's last night out at Kenwoods Field.
Well, it does help you have all your complement of U20 World Cup players back in the squad. So
yes.
Yeah.
They look very strong. Couple of fantastic goals from Maya Archibald as well. You have to either check that out on the Whitecaps Elite Twitter page, or the full game of that will be up on the League 1 BC website.
Anna
in a day
Howard
or so.
scored a beauty last week again as well against Highlanders last weekend. It's a screamer from about 21 yards out, showing the quality of that team and that player. It's one of the best last year on the women's side. Good to see we have her again this year in the league. They play the Rovers in 4 weeks' time, on a Wednesday evening in June. I believe it's 18th. Skylick for Harbourside.
Whitecaps play TSS on the 21st.
Of June?
Yes.
Wasn't even close.
18th to play Altitude.
Right.
In North Vancouver. That should be a good one. I'll have the call for that.
Maybe I can be your stats man or something for that game. We'll have to see.
Hey, more than welcome.
Nekic for Pachani, trying to turn. 18 minutes to go. You thought the Rovers would have this game in their hands after a 2-1 lead, but again, Harbourside answering moments later. What a game we have so far this afternoon. Still lots of time left. Both teams looking for their first W of the season. Rovers cannot afford another dropped 2 points at home here.
The temperature is rising out there as well. It's getting very hot up here in the commentary booth, and it's just about to hit its peak in the next hour, 2 hours here at Swangard. It's going to be some very tired players out there. Both teams have made their subs quite early in this one. So a little bit of scope if you want to freshen something up towards the end.
Here's Merck, the second goal scorer for TSS, tourney from last year. What a move by Pachani, but just collected there smoothly by Harbourside's sub in the second half, one of many, Saki Machida.
Pachani, another one of the island-based college players on the pitch this afternoon. She plays for UVic, just coming off her rookie season as Batty now.
She batted to the outside, tries a shot, hoping she'll to save. The inaugural goal scorer for Harbourside, Batty working her way into the box, and well grabbed by Hobenshield.
It's a nice little bit of history to have on your resume. Always nice to get the first goal for your club in its history.
Nice play by Verk finding Ferremo. Friesen just past her, might get past Nichols, she will. Friesen trying to go through Batty, and a firm tackle there. Make that carrot Dunlop, and Dunlop's not happy there. No cards yet, and we won't get one there either from Olin Metz, it looks like.
And we're going to get another Harbourside substitution now. Coming on is the number 19. No, sorry, coming on is the number 12 for the number 19. Maddie Dawson. Jasmine Wilkinson, who's been so influential for Harbourside out there. She did go down, seemed to twist her leg a little bit, but thankfully none the worse for wear. She's really impressed me this afternoon out there. You can certainly see the class. What can Maddie Dawson now do for this Harbourside team? One of the Nanaimo-based players, graduate as well from VIU, has a slew of Pac West and All-Star awards and mentions over the years. And has a little bit of experience out there as well to one of these, another young team.
Are you saving for watching the Not Smart game later, or are you planning on it? I was going to give the score, but I wanted to make sure.
Oh, you can give it.
4-0 Not Smart, and the 44th minute.
I just assumed it would be a blowout, so that's fine.
Good game for Katie Hamilton be calling on the feature match on TELUS and on YouTube as well.
I will go home and watch it, but now I know I just have to go to certain bits of it. The men's game will certainly be a lot closer out there, but on the women's side, it's like right now it's hard for any team really to hold a candle to what Not Smart are doing out there. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Two-person wall here on a free kick opportunity for Harbourside. It is Nichols standing over on that favored right foot. Got a great delivery on her in the 76th minute, clipped in towards the 6. And I don't know if they're going to have to retake it here. Dawson was there.
The referee blew, which I hadn't heard, mainly because of some idiot with a pot and pan down making so much noise. But everyone was just standing still there. The flag hadn't gone up, so kind of worked it out.
Nichols' delivery. It's another good one to the back stick for Dawson.
It's too much on that one, though, and it's going to carry out. Obviously spoke too soon when I mentioned about the ladle and the pan that Cedric brings along with him.
You let us down there, Michael.
It's okay. We've got 45 minutes between games that will get snapped.
I'm sure there's a metal recycling place around here.
Well, it's hot out there. Just leave it on the pitch.
Yes,
it'll just melt.
True.
Get into some smelting.
Verk now for Nekic. We're obviously not promoting violence, by the way, people. We're just talking about getting rid of the noisemakers.
Yeah, if
unique ones.
If you knew Cedric, you'd be totally in agreement with me.
Friesen out wide here for Rogers. Trying to work it in. Nice move by Rogers. Still going by Rogers. Pass 2. Bravely away by Nichols, who was pushed over by Rogers. Collected now by Amanda Scott for the Rovers. Verk. Running to the right down Main Street. Clips it through again for Rogers. Back forward is Folietta. Swipes it away. As a Highlanders player slow to her feet here, it's Folietta just stretching something out there. And a warm day cramping will happen quite quickly. Here in the 78th, 2-2 the score.
It's thankfully a little wind that's kind of picked up, which will be a bit of a godsend to these players out there.
Scott, nice composure finding Verk. Friesen trying to get onto right foot, finds Verk. Verk all the way through and away firmly again. Folietta bowled over by Verk. Attacking now is Skolik on a hat trick. Good defending by Nekic again. Can't really fault the Rovers entirely for the 2 goals. I mean, really well taken goals by Skolik, but the fact that the players were able to get in those positions to provide the service to Skolik, who's through again here for Harbourside. Can she get a hat trick? Skolik stopped by Hobenshield, who held that ball well. Here in the 79th. Here's Rogers. Good running again from the returnee. Ball switch looking there for Fennell. Thrown coming up for Jade Dillabo, the sub.
If I was putting money on this right now, I'd have to say Harbourside. For me, look the team most likely to go out and find a winner now.
Rovers have kind of taken their main players off in Strychek, who was excellent to start the game.
Strychek was getting a little bit of attention at half-time.
Yep. Remember, she missed last week as well. Still, Brenda Founderson on the bench for Chelsea Hannison's TSS, and Pak Sang and Kayla Klim.
Fonderson, there is no U.
Fonderson.
It was a mistype when you saw the initial roster.
Oh, dangerous high foot there. Tucking the jersey, kept alive, and a foul going the way of Harbourside there. I thought it would have gone the other way, just outside the 18. But it is a gift of a free kick here for TSS in 80 minutes. And another chance there.
Dangerous play there.
Clip back in by Shea Batty. Might drop down for Skolik.
TSS have put themselves in a bit of trouble a few times now this afternoon.
Long strike from Karen Batty, another sub, went wide of the goal. Here's Hoban Shield. Friesen now running through past Batty. Ahead there for Rogers. First to it, Nichols. And just distributes it away there on the chance and a throw. And the Rovers down the right side. By Rogers. Beautiful move from Rogers. Away, a thumping tackle again. Foletta down for a third time in the last 5 minutes. Slow to her feet for Harbourside after a tough afternoon for her. She's been at the wars against this Rovers wide player, Maya Rogers, ever since Rogers came onto the pitch. Here's Fennell. Trying to play it over the top there. Here's Pachani for TSS. Merck lost out, collected again there by the Rovers. Ferremo, good dogged determination by Sophia Ferremo. Plays it into space for Rogers. Rovers on the attack. 4 forward, 5 back for Harbourside. This one clipped towards Friesen. Might still fall for Isabella Pachani at TSS. Pachani has it go! Well wide to left, it'll stay in play here for Foletta. On 82 minutes, feels still that there's something in this game for either side, as Karen Batty will find a teammate at half, that's Skolik. Numbers to her right, including Shea Batty. Now Mishita. Down the line for Shea Batty. Good defending by Fennell. Been a lot of play on this right side for Harbourside. 83rd minute. The visitors in action on Friday night, back at home at the Q Stadium, already their 4th game of the season today. Busy schedule, no easy task for new teams to come in and have a spread out schedule. It's usually pretty compact. Away comes Ferremo. Nikki Verk now, looking through for Rogers. Off the foot of Ferremo now is come a lot more forward for the Rovers. Mishita. Verk beaten to it. Now played out wide, beautifully done. And away come Harbourside FC. Batty now to the top of the 18. Played forward. Here's Skolik in a good position. Oh, just rises it wide. Just over on the right-footed shot.
Another great opportunity there for Emma Skolik, nearly getting a hat-trick and getting the first ever win for this Harbourside team. What an afternoon she has been having. 22-year-old from Campbell River. Certainly going to feature, you would think, on the Team of the Week for League 1 BC.
Open shield forward. Dangerous play there by Dunlop still does find row bottom. Nekic now for the Rovers. Composed Amanda Scott. Vert calling for it. Go towards her direction. Offside, though, was Friesen. As Harbourside collected the ball, and some physical play in the last few minutes, and a foul on Nichols. Free kick goes the way of the visitors here. Team of the Week participants for either side this week. Emma Skolik is mentioned for Harbourside. Maddie Elcombe for TSS. Just two players spread about. There's a good chance here and a half volley struck. Shouts for handball not given. Skolik proceeds. And it might still find a player in the box. Blocked in front. That was Dawson. Harbourside threatening.
That was a great chance there for Dawson to put Harbourside ahead, but some good defensive play by TSS. They struggled in though still to get the ball cleared, and they might finally have done it now and maybe get a chance to build themselves here.
Pachani now steers it towards Fennell. Clip ball forward for Friesen. Off the head there of Nichols, and a throw coming up for Friesen. Here's Fennell. Pachani, a loose touch there, to throw coming up. Here's Fennell. Pachani now. Forward towards Friesen. Very surprised we haven't had a water break yet this second half.
Actually, that's true. I'd have expected one a long time ago.
Obenshield will pick it up here. And distribute to Amanda Scott.
TSS's pace has really slowed down in the second half. They look the tireder of the two teams out there. And considering what a long start to this day it has been for Harbourside. So much travelling for the likes of Harbourside, Highlanders, Rivers out in Kamloops in this League 1 BC season. TSS wrap up their League 1 regular season campaign on the 15th and 22nd with trips to Nanaimo and Victoria respectively.
Those could shape up to be very warm ones as well on the island.
Could have a lot to play for as well for all those teams involved. TSS really need to try and get a win here, try and get this home 3 points on the board.
3 minutes to be added on here at Swangard. Attacking is Dillabow.
Fourth official a little bit early putting the 3 minutes up, as a lot can happen in the
She's probably warmed down there.
2.5 minutes. Obenshield a little bit slow to react to that maybe.
Rovers at home against Unity next Saturday, 1:30 p.m. kickoff. Have the call for you on that one here on YouTube. Sports Canada TV with partnership AFTN Canada.
Now it's going to be a really tough one for TSS. They're going to hope that they can get some more of their players back for that against a very talented Unity side with a big base from the Trinity Western Spartans. Saw them take on Altitude last Sunday, and first 10-15 minutes of that, it was like so one-sided, Gideon. It was non-stop Unity. Altitude settled and got themselves back into the game. Ultimately could have come away with that with a point. Controversial disallowed goal, which I still think was a goal, but I didn't make the decision, sadly.
Speaking controversial, is one of those last night, the Toronto Maple Leafs game. That crazy overtime affair against the Florida Panthers.
They play soccer?
No, I was talking about hockey.
I know. Who cares about hockey? It's soccer.
Just saying, it was controversial.
I actually watched it because, I watched the overtime because I'm a Leafs fan. I will admit that. I only back losing teams.
Are we still talking about
That's why I
hockey?
support East Fife and Whitecaps. And
teams that haven't won anything in years. Here's Nekic on the ball for TSS, back for Scott.
it's been a very bad 3 days for me. TSS losing in the Canadian Championship on Wednesday. East Fife getting knocked out of the promotion playoffs last night.
Did Wimbledon play today?
No, their season's long over.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, disappointment in a nutshell in the last few days for you.
Usually just waking up on a Saturday mornings disappoint me when I check Twitter and check the scores. Let's see if TSS, though, can bring a smile to our face. We've got 25 seconds to go in this one and 3-ish minutes of stoppage time. Don't think there will be anything added on top of that. TSS just don't look like they've got it in them to get the winner here. But they did score their 2 goals against the run of play. Can they get a third? Nice little attempted chip there by Nicky Virk, the goal scorer of the opener in this one.
On the sideline has indicated a minimum of 3 minutes of added time in the second half.
Nekic retreating for TSS. Ball bounce. Plays it well off the deck. Back for Hope and Shield.
I have really liked Scott and Nekic back there. And I mean, we know that there's some really good players coming along. It's a shame kind of to dislodge them a little bit with how well that they've played, but maybe some fresh legs in there.
Shea Batty to the ball first for Harbourside and away by Nekic.
Just couldn't bring that one down. That was a great chance there for Batty. She's maybe going to get another one here. Just pokes up, the flag goes up for offside on Harbourside.
That was Dillabo just clipping one through again there. Here in about the 91st.
Hope you have enjoyed this one wherever you're watching this. Thank you for spending a glorious Saturday afternoon with us. More action coming up very, very soon. The men kicking off at 4 o'clock. I'm completely lost with what time it is.
The heat kind of does mess with you a little bit. Mind wanders at times.
I'm used to thinking of the altitude games because they kick off the women at 1 and the men at
3:30,
3:30,
yep.
so it gets confusing. I've got an old brain, it's hard to take with changes. A Scalic now. Yeah, it's at this time of the game we give our players of the game, and for Harbourside, the AFTN player of the game is Emma Scalic. My second player of the game for Harbourside, I'm giving it to Mary Nichols. I think she's been fantastic defensively out there.
I might throw Foglietta in there for Harbourside, the left back who's run a lot of kilometers this afternoon for Bobby Taylor's team.
Yep, she definitely deserves a special mention, as does Jasmine Wilkinson as well. So instrumental in that first goal for Harbourside. For TSS, Nicky Virk's put in a great shift out there.
Here's a good look late for Shea Batty. Makes a move on Fennell. Shea Batty! Stop by Hope and Shield off the crossbar and followed in! It's a late goal for Harbourside, and it might be their first win in League 1 BC history. There's still a minute to go, but what a ball clip back post. And it went off the crossbar, and it's maybe a goal for Shea Batty. Either way, it's 3-2, Michael.
Oh, what a chip. The goalkeeper is going to want that back. She was struggling to deal with that. I don't know if it was the sun or whatever, but from nothing, really, it looked like this game was just going to fall down and be a draw. It looks like Harbourside are about to make history with their first ever win.
4 by Fremo. Can't be more than a minute left here. Bobby Taylor right to the fourth official. That's it. Harbourside secure their first win in League 1 BC history on the women's side. Congratulations to Bobby Taylor and staff here. And a late winner from, I believe it was Karen Batty, gives the Harbourside team their first win away from home. First win overall. And a 3-goal clinical performance against this Rovers team as they win 3-2 this afternoon here at Swangard Stadium.
I think a very deserved win as well for Harbourside. You've got to say, I think they were the better team over the 90 minutes.
Yep.
And coming into this off the back of those 2 heavy defeats from Nossamot, that is absolutely fantastic stuff from the Nanaimo side. That is going to give them so much confidence now. Heading into the rest of the season, they've got a pair of home games coming up against the Whitecaps on the 19th altitude on the 24th. And what this will do for Bobby Taylor's side is absolutely wondrous. Bouncing back from those heavy defeats, as I said. For TSS, they have to regroup quickly. Still, just 1 point on the board for their first 3 matches of the season. And I think when May Hobenshield watches that one back, she's going to feel that she should have tipped that over and done better. I don't know if she lost it in the sun or what, Gideon, but in the end, Harbourside for me, worthy winners in this one.
What a ball it was, clipped over the top by Shea Batty, and I think it's Karen Batty that was the goal scorer. But either way, congratulations to Harbourside for their first win on the women's side, 3-2 over the Rovers this afternoon. We'll have the call for you coming up about 40 minutes from Swangard as the men will do battle against the same Rovers side. Thanks for tuning into this first half of the action. We'll talk to you in the second game at 4 o'clock.